Welcome to this post-Sabbath coffee with yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan. This is a special I declare revolution for the mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, which are one empire under the sun and the stars on there, whose general missions are world peace, international justice, and global freedom, securing global freedom, and attaining harmony between civilization and with nature. How? By my theory of debt refusion, written over the many past years of struggle, suffering, depression, precarious employment, chronic illness. It's like taking the pestilences of the world upon me. Being lonely and precarious work, financial stress, and many ills and struggles and hurdles, and across the great desert in this hawk island, Montreal, where the libraries of the city of Montreal became my second home, and the thousands of books therein became my friends, and where I've read thousands of books and educated and read and written thousands of pages of theory, of poetry, of scripts, of scenarios, of many writings, of creativity, of analysis, and much more. And when during this time I've written financial theory for financial reform, now during COVID, simplified in a concise form as the debt refusion theory, DBT, debt, REFUSION, refusion, fusion taking after the theoretical physics of the energy which is in the sun, compared to fission, which we have on in the nuclear fission. The splitting of the atom is the fission, and the uniting of atoms is the fusion. Since 1984 there has been little progress in the discovering fusion, although yours truly, Adrian, is still a nerd at heart. Had as a child envisioned of actually discovering fusion, and wrote a short story back in 1997, I think around this time in 97, maybe October, late October, after Halloween, early November, a story about how a future world civilization of federation of world peace by a semi-utopian novel, part utopian novel, as a dreamer, as a child of world peace, still am, which was partly due to the discovery of fusion on Earth and the easy accessible access to energy to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization. In a parallel life, science, innovation, and technology would have been a chosen path, where satellites, computer science, and rockets, and everything, high-tech gadgets, would have been my universe. And this diverged towards the spiritual, the artistic, the irrational, the emotional, the psychological, the physical, and the rainbow artistic with a little bit of gray and shades of black. This is gonna be a coffee post-Sabbath, coffee vigil, beginning the week with a intellectual reading and study before my bath. I'm gonna take a bath later on. I'm gonna do some meditation and maybe some recreational cannabis. Yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan. I'm gonna be reading about. Now let me finish my train of thought about. Of course, this cup of coffee is dedicated to the mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, which you can see the emblem of the dancing goddess, the priestess, the spiritual, social, and political statement and estimation and philosophy, which is embodied in that beautiful painting by an artist named Ona, O-N-A, whom I purchased at a store called Renaissance Rebirth Second Hand Store. Or many of my clothes, this is bought second hand. This, not the pants. Pants are gifted from my friend, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and call sister. This is bought second hand, although he had lost the jewel there. And this is second hand bought also. So the mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire is, of course, general world peace, international justice, and securing global freedom. To secure, ensuring global freedom and attaining harmony between civilization and with nature. How? Mainly, generally, by creating the two institutions: the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army, in complementary covenant cooperative institution to the Dancing Goddess Army, officially titled International Integrated Dance League. Integrated, it will be an all gender, all ages, all sexual orientations, all welcoming dance league. Sure, you can have organized professional dancers, dances of all genres, twerk, 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 put them to work for Mother Nature, the greatest artist. Yeah, I say you can twerk, I can't sing the song. With a rap on, with a pop, we mix and drunk, mix them for some four-letter words. Love, love, love. Yep, but I say goddess when they say God. I say God, but also the goddess. When they say God, I say yep, with the goddess. Goddess, yes. Creating the two aforementioned institutions, Dancing Goddess Army, in order to organize mass dancing events across the world for the mass cleaning of the oceans, rivers, waterways, and lakes. In complementary covenant cooperative to the Dragon Army, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, to be created. Paradoxically, in a providential parallel way, just have envisioned in my scenario, which I've created back in 2019 October, when as a world peace advocate, independent student, scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilization, and student scholar of history, and independent security analyst and theorist, had taken into consideration the US-China trade war began by the Trump administration, had taken into consideration the arrest of Meng Wanzhou by the RCMP Canadian authorities in order to honor an extradition to the USA, and of course the arrest of the two Michaels, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, which more than a week ago now have been released in a not admitted, not admitted. We don't admit a lot of things, do we? We wear a lot of different masks, don't we? In different situations, different scenarios. We want to be loved. We want to get a pay raise. We want to get a job. We want to get an advance. We want to, XYZ reasons. Anyways, so creating the two institutions, just like, well, in my scenario, the Dragon Army, and the is envisioned in my scenario, which I've created after taking into consideration the aforementioned, the US-China trade war, the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, and the two Michaels, and historical events such as Pearl Harbor. And in 2019, I was saying, as my analysis was concluding, that we, Canada, United States, North America, Western world, humanity as a whole, human civilization, we are on a path to World War III. So I created a new workout officially called, titled General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, of which I've performed 213 sessions indoors here in my underground room, office, and temple, 2013, and now for the coming until December 3rd or so, I'm gonna be doing them outdoors in this Hawk Island, Montreal, where I have already consecrated, blessed, and dedicated many dragon gyms around the city, with working with rocks, with concrete, training the body hard, and gonna get World War III fit. And so yours truly, h.a.dragan, on this Sunday, 6 p.m. vigil. It's gonna be 3 hours, since that's the allotted time. I'll be reading some coffee, dedicated to the mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the dragon army. Just like in my scenario, a World War III scenario, which I've mentioned, I'm calling, due to COVID, resembling my scenario, health and financial crisis of COVID. Since in my scenario, what causes World War III is a stock market crash triggering a global financial collapse, which triggers World War III in my fictitious scenario, began in 2019, and which was made. My workout I have developed then in October 2019, after having experimented with different workout techniques. Up to that moment in time, I lost about 65 pounds. Up to today, I'm more than 77 pounds down. I've reached my weight loss goal of, it was 70 pounds, but now I'm 77 down pounds, so the rest is going to be converted into lean, mean, natural, raw muscle mass in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. 2 months, I guess it's October 3rd, so let's say till December 3rd. October has 31 days, so it's 61 days, 61 days. December 3rd, do some fitness journey, fitness poses and fitness pictures, and I'm gonna be working out in the streets, concrete of Montreal, Hawk Island. Hopefully it's gonna be a mild autumn, not so much rain. Now I'm gonna do them indoors, and my volunteering and open for business 24/7 for commission to dance, to write poetry. Yours truly, h.a.dragan, twice vaccinated, willing to get the third, the same spot in the forehead, or the goddess, Goddess, the seven holy, sacred, divine little word, goddess that still offends. I don't like that I say goddess. Do they now? What I say with no stress. Blood, sweat, and tears to unveil one of the countless veils. Holy names, thunder, lightning strike. Whoop, keep the holy, sacred, her name goddess out of her mouth. She dances with the sun. I'm just a piece of dust. I admit it. Like, willing to get the third, had COVID like end of January until about February 20th. It was very sickle and disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. In many ways, did die during COVID. Yours truly, Adrian h.a.dragan, born, died during COVID, and being reborn, Adrian, h.a.dragan, Androgynous, Pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess and the Dragon Empire, which are one empire under the sun, on the stars, on earth, for world peace, international justice, global freedom, and attaining harmony between civilization and nature, with the Phoenix People's Party, the anti-war, anti-poverty, anti-racism, pro-love, universal, revolutionary, centrist party, concording to create the two institutions of the dancing goddess and the dragon army, complementary, cooperative, covenant institutions by my theory of debt refusion, refusing all existing public and private debt, creating a global central bank by biometrics. The hand, the voice, and the eye are unique trinity of unique biometrics for each and every individual on the planet. The hand, the eye, and the voice, I've seen parallel with a tangible currency, but taking all debt. So debt refusion theory, which I've developed during my years of many struggles in this Hawk Island of suffering, of pain with XYZ, where I still through that pain and struggle, loneliness and depression and being suicidal and XYZ, and with addictions with XYZ, had of course done the libraries of the city of Montreal became my second home. The books my many friends have written, thousands of poems, songs, and theory, and stories, short stories, and financial theory, social theory, political analysis, and theory. And we're now during this COVID, with the providential parallel paradox of my scenario, which began 93 days before COVID, and the workout of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, and my scenario, they meant to go hand in hand, like two sides to a coin, and one without the other. I created that workout, which I've performed 213 sessions, to go hand in hand with the aforementioned scenario, the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, the simple, effective, and efficient total body training system that requires no equipment. It is really perfection, and it is the de facto examination of anybody willingly living to be the next dragon, as yours truly is becoming Dragon Zero, Captain General, Captain Founder of the Dragon Army, of which the motto is nobody is born a dragon, not even myself, with a surname Dragon. I'm not a dragon because I got a surname named Dragon, D-R-A-G-A-N, born without a surname. And as the joke goes, well, you can never be sure about who the father was. As the joke goes. But unless I've been on my own for many, many, many years, as a matter of fact, my family has been in the past years my friend, my teacher, the one I love and call sister, to that trinity of adds a fourth dimension of being my first and my only, for the moment, financial sponsor, providing me filters and machine and the apparatus for me to drink cleaner, purer, healthier water. Loaning me, giving me a good rent, paying good rent on a good, better basement, when I was living in a different hood called Côte des Neiges, CDN, in Montreal, Hawk Island. In my years of struggle and pain and suffering, I've learned, I've struggled with chronic illness, and name it. I'm getting better with training, exercising, working out. Has been, is, and will be medicine of choice for yours truly, as I believe truly that working out, training, exercising, it is medicine and therapy for many. I am calling and have been and will be and will do it now. I'm calling on especially the so blessed since 1984 to make millions of dollars, and I'm going to say patriarchal sports leagues. Let's be honest, there's not even one women's sports leagues who even makes close to the financially what the male dominated sports leagues make. The NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, Major League Baseball, and European soccer. Sure, there are individual women of our sisters who make in the millions. I've been blessed in the millions to be multi-millionaires financially. But as a sports league, there's not even one women's sports leagues in hockey, football, basketball who makes even close financially to what the male patriarchal sports league. Let's be honest. As a matter of fact, this coffee vigil and learning is dedicated to the dancing goddess army, the creation thereof, the dancing goddess army, the mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire of world peace, and of course to create the dancing goddess army and to support my LGBTQ brothers and sisters as a pansexual, androgynous, pansexual, Adrian, h.a.dragan, founder thereof, the dancing goddess and the dragon empire for world peace, and to support in the NFL, the only one that we're not gonna lock there, it's gonna be Carl Nassib, the only one open gay player in the NFL playing, as Michael Sam didn't play much. The last one a few years ago, Michael Sam. Now it's Carl Nassib. I'm gonna be rooting for those. In my eye, brother. Stop throwing Phil dirty boys in my eye, brother. The Raiders, the first open gay player, and Raiders had a great start, I think, since 1989. The best start since 1989 or something like that. I'm gonna have to check. We're gonna check. I'm gonna be on it. And Carl Nassib, love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm cheering for the Raiders. Although I'm a 49er, San Francisco for life. I got my trinity of teams this season. 49ers, of course the Raiders, because of Carl Nassib, the only gay player in the NFL. And because of Brady, the oldest, Leo on the block, Lion, who still plays like he looks like he regenerated a few years. Carl Nassib, the only gay player in the NFL, and I'm going to say straightforward and direct. At least 10% players who are bisexual or gay in the NFL, or bi-curious or gay, or had bisexual or gay experiences, or are bisexual and gay and are not out because XYZ financial reasons. I understand, I understand that. Morally, ethically, we can debate, we can argue, but if you haven't been in the shoes like of somebody like me who has struggled financially and you're so tempted, you get XYZ and precarious work with placement agencies and you excel great at things and then you get disappointed and disillusioned by blah 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 organizations do this blah 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 and just like working out, training, getting fit, it comes, the body is a temple for purpose and for pleasure. And my goddess dances with a bird, the sun, the eye of the dragon, the sun doesn't reject anybody who's, as a matter of fact, pleasure in body, mind. It's for my allies and armies. If I can give you massages, washes, kisses, hugs, rap, rock, dance, you name it. For my allies and armies, bless you. In my name, Adrian, h.a.dragan, healing, strength, joy, pleasure. Freedom is not easy, is it? When you got financial pressures, it's hard, man. Until you get into you in the shoes of somebody who struggled financially and to make ends meet and that bread and that they got it. I understand people for XYZ reasons are not open about their sexuality, being bisexual or gay. Nassib is not the only gay player in the NFL. How many players? 1,700, right? They are at least 10%. So when you see 11 versus 11, the offense and the defense, I'm telling you that out of those 11, there's at least one on each side who's bisexual or gay. Guaranteed. There's no doubt. Now I'm gonna go into some Freudian that 2/3, 66.6%. Freud stated 2/3 of men and women are bisexual at least and gay and have desires and lusts that they repress. That is true. Some repress it. I hid it. I was hidden in the closet for 13.3 years. I was suicidal, depressed. Oh my god. So I'm an underground rapper as well, rapping. Artist. I'm gonna say what? I wanna bangy bangy with that rapper or that rapper. Shit. Things we don't admit. Hey, the things we don't admit might grow crooked in the dark, man. I go crooked in the dark, get depressed, suicidal. It's okay, man. Have lust, have urges. It's okay. My goddess. Come to my rainbow goddess, who's sometimes very black and very gray. Thunders. They don't wanna burn witches like they burn priestesses, chase them out with bearded fools out of the temples, man. Shit. If I die tonight, tomorrow I got vaccinated, but I'm not supposedly 100% covered about COVID, protected, an accident, whatever. Let be known that Adrian h.a.dragan, I've said, when they said God, I said, and the goddess. When they say God, Adrian h.a.dragan said, and the goddess. When they said God, Adrian h.a.dragan said, and the goddess. I struck by lightning, thunder. I said it. There you go. This multi-ethnic, many past lives, many incarnations, different past lives in ancient Egypt by the Nile, a farmer, in food for the priestesses of Isis, in serving food to those who build the pyramids, who are tombs and temples as well of initiation. It's funny because I was thinking about somebody they were talking about to Rabbi Jesus and seemed very passionate about it, and except Rabbi Jesus, except a pretty Jewish version of Rabbi Jesus, which well, he was, we have something in common, I guess. I'm both multi-ethnic, I'm half Jewish, half Ashkenaz, in this life. Another was 100%, another was different, another was an Indian born in India. I was in ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, a Roman, Babylonian, Sumerian, many lives, many incarnations. But I'm a universal spiritual teaching student as well. There's so many things I don't know. I have a lot of questions, more questions than answers. To be sure, in the parallel life, science, innovation, and technology would have been a chosen path. Wi-Fi, computers, satellites, codes, wires, dimensions, and elements. The table of elements, knew it by heart. The other way around, from the lowest to the highest, and all things logic, mathematics, and rationality in parallel life only, or dominated by 93% dominated by rationality in a parallel life. In this life, perhaps the other way around, spirituality, art, dance, the body as well, emotions, irrationality, and they gotta go together, science and spirituality. I don't know, but anyway, so they were this in the streets of Hawk Island, Montreal. I was dancing, and I've heard them. They were speaking, and I passed by and said something to me. There's nobody, whatever, greater than. That's their belief. Whatever. I don't know. Let's compare. Should we compare? There's so many different generations, whatever. My belief is Rabbi Jesus, and this is I'm gonna state, and I've stated and will state. He did three things that yours truly, Adrian h.a.dragan, likes: turning water into wine. I wish I could do that. Get everybody drunk. Cheaper wine. It's already expensive during this COVID. Make Get everybody drunk. Get during the Sabbath, Friday, midnight to Sunday. Make love, dance, and affordable wine. Turn water into wine. Will be more affordable as well, right? That I like. Turning water into wine at that wedding. I like that. I wish I could do that as well. I can't. Blah blah blah. But not only blah blah blah. I can massage and also do. I just blah blah blah. To my allies and armies, I wash from feet to toe, kiss, massage, start rapping, start dancing. You don't want to hear me rapping. Gotta wash that dirty mouth, boy. I get dirty, but I get back clean, royal, lofty, regal. So it was we're discussing about Jesus, and I passed by, and I said, there's three things I like: turning water into wine, get everybody drunk. I wish I could do that. World peace would be more easy. People make love, dance, and are drunk. I could get into a scuffle, but you miss, I fall. Get everybody drunk. The overturning of the tables of the moneylenders in front of the temple. I am for 10% maximum of interest. As a matter of principle, 10% on all types of loans, no more. Because now we have 13.3%, 15, 20, even 20, more 22, even 25% interest. That's a quarter, like 25, even more in some cases, more rare cases. But we have credit cards on 22%, 20%, 24%, 25, 26. We have more than 20%. So as a principle, 10% on all loans. Right, I am for that. Further water into wine, the overturning the tables of the money lenders were the first time that uses force, if you will, Rabbi Jesus uses force or whatever. A third, defending Mary Magdalene, the sex worker, somebody who has been a sex worker in a past life. A Jewish woman in Berlin, persecuted later on from 1925 to 1937, about 11 years and 9 months, 11 years and 9 months, about more or less 11 years and 9 months, so not close to 12 years, but not, it wasn't just sex work, like just sex work. It was also serving coffee, serving food, bringing napkins, bringing to the tables, and dancing and cabaret and poetry. It wasn't just burlesque, dressing up, short stories. It wasn't just the raw. It was a little of that too, but it wasn't. I was both working during the day, and during the night. So And I am for legalizing, standardizing with sanitation and end all sex work. Sex work can be holy, right? Maybe from 9 to 5 I could just love all day, massage and clean and wash my priestesses. Come to the goddess, dancing goddess army. That's a dancing goddess army. This is what I offer: wash, a massage, and dance for you. Wash you, massage you, kiss you, massage you, and wash you for my dancing goddess army. Massage you, kiss you. I'll dance with you. Better believe it. Better believe it. You better believe it. Better believe it, better believe it. Goddess omen, goddess omen, goddess omen. Better believe it. That music, I hear music, I start dancing anyway. On all genres of music: classic, rap, pop, soundtrack, techno trance. Start dancing on all genres of music: jazz, blues, rock and roll, classic, folklore, even on the national anthems. The anthem of the dancing goddess and the dragon emperor will be on music, fuse music, rap, rock and roll, techno, trance, put together, not at the same time, but seconds and seconds. Three versions, 7 minutes and 18 seconds, 4 minutes and 18 seconds, and 93 seconds. And we'll be children laughing and playing. As no lyrics, no singing, no vocals, but the voice of children laughing and playing and giggling and screaming, whatever, just children, you know, from 3 to 11 to 13, 14, I guess, whatever. Children playing, laughing, giggling, loving. That will be the anthem. Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, Phoenix People's Party. No other. No lyrics like in the other national anthems. Children laughing, children playing, children giggling. That's New World Order for you there. New World Order song. Children laughing, playing, giggling, loving, having fun. That's it. And the flag, well, we got the flag there, the priestess, or it could be symbolic of the goddess, greatest artist, whose trees are just the hair on the goddess's body from here to all the continents. Acacia tree in Africa, my favorite tree. The big cedars here, and the big maple trees, and all the big trees in North America, and all the way to Central America, that way, to the Amazon in Brazil, Asia and Europe. All the trees around the world are the hairs on the goddess's body, who dances with her bird, the sun, who now is about to set over Hawk Island, Montreal, and is about to rise. Of course, in over Japan, over the Korea, South, North, and China, and Australia, New Zealand, and Laos, Nepal, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Singapore, Indonesia. Sun's about to rise there in coming minutes as it is setting now. All on the west coast of North America, like Vancouver, LA, it's 3:26 p.m. EST, 3 hours time zone difference. Now it's 6:26 p.m. here in Montreal, now known as Hawk, H.a.dragan, like the bird of prey. And on New York, Atlanta is, of course, the same time zone, Eastern, EST. So yours truly, Adrian h.a.dragan, born who died during COVID, got vaccinated, had COVID, was very sick and diseased, and the January until about February 20th or so. Calling on all willing and loving to support the mission, vision, and philosophy of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Army. Paradoxically, in a parallel providential way, the Dragon Army officially called International Citizen Integrated Social Security for what I'm calling for since July 24th. due to the paradox, parallel, and providence of my scenario, which I've created before COVID in October 2019, after having analyzed the world situation, taken into consideration the US-China trade war, the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, the chief financial officer of Huawei by RCMP Canada in order to honor an extradition treaty with the USA, consequently the arrest of Michael Spavor, Michael Kovrig by authorities in China, just released more than a week ago. Not admitted, but it was an exchange, quid pro quo, and other into considerations such as the Pearl Harbor event. That's said, analyzed as an independent student, scholar of history, wars, geopolitics, and civilization, and as an independent analyst, security analyst. That said that we are on the path to World War III, humanity. I've created that workout to the general war integrated total body training system, go hand in hand, designed, made, and created to go hand in hand with the aforementioned World War III scenario, in which, just like COVID, what triggers the World War III is a stock market crash, which triggers the global financial collapse, which subsequently triggers World War III in my fictitious scenario. Due to COVID, 93 days later, the stock market crash began. October began, no, we're in October now. My fictitious stock market crash began on Halloween. It was called Black Halloween, October 31st. I have proof, it has been documented. So 93 days or so before COVID and the real stock market crash due to COVID, which began, according to analysts, theorists, financial theorists, and analysts, February 20th, and ended about April 7th, and triggered recessions and depressions on a mass scale globally. So triggering these depressions and these recessions globally on a mass scale. And now it was averted just 3 days ago by reaching an agreement bipartisan with the Biden administration to fund the debt ceiling, to raise it and finance the continuity of the US government, but that only until December 3rd, which is going to be my deadline to get the fittest World War III fit by doing the general war integrated total body training system in Hawk Island, Montreal, in the streets, with the different designated dragon gyms surrounding the Hawk Island, of which you can see my videos of me working out with rocks, with concrete, with on the streets, which I spent many years in parallel to also going to the libraries and reading, with educating. I've become yours truly, the people's doctor in many ways. Yes, I did graduate from high school. I had plans to go to university, and although I was hit hard by the great financial recession, my work hours were cut 3 times back then. I had investment, had savings, had plans, but you know, didn't work out so well. Diverged, suffered pain, but nonetheless, just COVID, I died, and I'm being reborn with every step, every push-up. Adrian, h.a.dragan, Androgynous, Pansexual, founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, which I'm calling the Creation 4. The 2 institutions, by my theory of debt refusion, taking all existing private and public debt. My private debt is X1, and if I'm X1, you're X2, and there's hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of X's in NATO countries and around the world. And of course, I'm calling for the creation of the Dragon Army by mobilizing, just like in my scenario, which had a destruction, the World War III, and also had the solution, which COVID was a destruction. And in my scenario, predating and looking like COVID, providential in a parallel, paradoxical way. I'm not claiming to be a prophet. It's just my analysis, studying, reading, education, and what I've come up to the conclusion, and what I've envisioned in my scenario, the solution. The solution in my scenario was, and mobilizing 1% of citizens across NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization member countries, of which Canada, United States, Germany, and 27 others. There are 30 member nation states. And I'm calling on Israel, State of Israel, to become the 31st member NATO ASAP, perhaps by midnight tonight. Still hoping for that first donation via PayPal, perhaps also by midnight tonight, if not by 3 a.m. in the morning, if not by tomorrow, 3 p.m. Monday, the 4th of October, if not in the coming days, weeks, months ahead. If not, still credited by the goddess who gets the kiss from the goddess of infinite space, infinite stars above, who kisses the goddess of heavens, who kisses her sister, the little sister, and that kiss turns into trillions, 93 trillion kisses. A trillion has 12 zeros, a trillion is 1,000, billion as a billion is 1,000 million. So that's a lot of kisses that one kiss turns into. To the goddess who dances with her brother, the sun, to make, create, and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes, and that is the motto of the dancing goddess army. The dancing goddess who dances with her bird, the sun, to make, create, and produce all LL fruits, vegetables, and legumes that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization, or go dance. I've seen a lot of people go dancing and clubbing. I want them to have joy. My children have joy to dance, to make love, new experiences, and there's so many liquor and so many foods and so many places I haven't visited. Just in this hot island, Montreal, I've been living in many years in this metropolis, which I'm grateful that it still has big and lots of trees in my neighborhood now, which I moved a few years ago of NDG. I'm still living CDN, Coordination, not that many as in NDG trees, but the mountain, Mount Royal, and the other three mountain peaks where the headquarters of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire is, on Mount Royal proper, Westmount, and Outremont. Yesterday night was so many trees, and majestic and powerful. I was walking, crossing the mountain from the other side last night on the Sabbath, and the trees are the hairs on the goddess. I'm grateful to have a mixed civilization and with nature, the flora and the fauna and nature. Mother Nature is the greatest artist. Yours truly might be an independent artist, athlete, and activist, but Mother Nature that dances with a bird, the sun. I realized during this COVID how fucking useless I can fucking be. So I never farmed. Born in 1984, in this life I never farmed. In other lives I farmed by the Nile, by the Danube, for the Roman Empire, for the legions, for the priestesses of Isis in ancient Egypt to feed them, and the workers who built the pyramids, and in Sumeria to build the ziggurats, and in Babylon, and in Persian Empire, and in ancient India, and other incarnations in Latin America, and here in North America, other incarnations is here. Farm, but in this life, never farmed. Know a little bit about, okay, not never, do have a little bit of farming experience, urban farming. So I did plant, I did sow, I did harvest a few seasons, but not zero. In theory, I could farm a little bit, could do a little bit of farming, but you get the idea, not that much and extensively to feed a whole city or a whole family, perhaps not, but from what I learned in the urban farming, maybe, yeah, okay, not, but you get the idea. But I did farm a little bit, urban farming, so cool experiences. So I do have a little bit of planting, sowing, and arranging, and watering, and weeding, and stuff like that. So not at all. There's some, but not considerable. But anyways, so our farmers harvest the fruits of the dance of the goddess with a bird, the sun, deserve to get their hands kissed, their feet washed, or vice versa, and massage their bodies from the leaders of the free world in the parliaments, the senates across the NATO countries, and I'll give them a hug. I'll stand there, something for the farmers. I'd go do it, guys. Massage and wash real good. We do some good love. Love is action, not just blah 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 for my allies and armies. Kisses, washes, massages, bodies, a temple for pleasure and for purpose. And yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan. This vigil of learning will begin. So I ranted a bit about the introduction. So again, just like in my scenario, which I was the workout general war integrated body training system was made, designed to go hand in hand with that aforementioned scenario. Began October 2019. Just like in my scenario, I had envisioned the solution, mobilizing 1% of citizenry, integrating across all sectors, creating a new social security force, 24-hour service force for security and defense, ensuring freedom and rebuilding, resetting, building back better. Dragon Army, since July 24th, 2020, I began advocating for and have, of course, founded as the General Captain, yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan, Dragon Zero becoming. The motto of the Dragon Army is nobody is born a dragon. Tell the leaders of the free world. Yours truly, Dragon Zero's message drop down. Give Dragon Zero 13 push-ups with love and for the sake of world peace, and that is, has been, is, and will be my message to the leaders of the free world, NATO member countries, premiers, prime minister, chancellors. Drop down and give Dragon Zero 13 push-ups with love and for the sake of world peace. And how are we going to have world peace and justice? By ensuring and securing freedom. How? By securing the three elements of civilization. Those three elements are food, housing, and transport for all, via public-private partnership, creating a global central bank by my theory of debt refusion, DEBT, debt. If I'm X1, and if X is the private debt, I'm X1, you're X2, and there's hundreds of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of X's. So all that number together, I am got $10,000 in debt. I'm grateful. $758 this 1st of October. Got a check from the government. Thank you to the past ones. Since my work of my artistic work, my activist work, and my athletic work, and everything that I do is dependent somehow upon the work of somebody else and his blood and sweat and tears and efforts. So I'm grateful for having gotten that check to pay my rent, which thank you my sister, friend, teacher, and the one I love and call sister, my friend and the teacher, Anonymous, and adds a fourth dimension to that trinity of friend, teacher, and sister. I nominate her to be co-regent, the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, Anonymous. You know who she is. If I die tonight, tomorrow, whatever, accident, whatever things happen, to take the lead, continue the mission of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire, the Phoenix People's Party. Continue the mission. Nominate Anonymous, friend, teacher, one I love and call sister, fourth dimension, financial sponsor in many ways, to be Chief General Officer of Education, Information, Culture, Security, Environment. I salute you. I love you. Goddess, bless with healing, love, regeneration, new experiences, joy, and this life, and protection, and a vengeance, and love, and healing, and music, and laughter, and knowledge, and wisdom, and understanding in this life and in continuing incarnations. Yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan. One more thing to add, of course, is to compliment, finish up. I go started reading a little bit. This vigil, coffee vigil, so creating the complementary cooperative covenant institutions of the Dancing Goddess Army and the Dragon Army by debt refusion, taking all debt minus 10,000 and adding all the private debt, that number in US dollars, and the public debt, X and the Y's. The letter Y if Canada is Y1, United States Y2, Y3, let's say Germany, Y4 Israel, the alliance. The X's, private debt, the Y's, public debt. Public is the city of Montreal, Canada, United States, Germany, Israel, the debt per GDP. Taking all private and public debt in US dollars, taking that number to credit debt refusion theory, as to fuse, as my theory of democratic fusion and non-sectarian. I gotta say this. Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire, non-sectarian for world peace, international justice, and global freedom. Creating the two aforementioned institutions, creating by this financial debt refusion theory to be put into practice. Debt refusion theory to be put into practice, basically taking all private and public debt, the number in US dollars, creating the global central bank to issue a universal unit of exchange by biometrics. The hand, the voice, and the eye are unique biometrics in partnership with all existing public and private institutions and organizations to create the two aforementioned institutions, to integrate at all levels with all private and public institutions and organizations to attain world peace, international justice, global freedom, and attaining harmony between civilization and nature. It's like paradoxically in my scenario, envision that solution. That's what I began advocating since July 24, 2020. That creation of that institution of the Dragon Army to secure the three elements of civilization for all allies, citizens, and supporters of the empire, regardless, in a non-sectarian way. Once those three are secured, food, housing, and transport for all, by a public-private partnership, by everything that we have in terms of technology, all the private corporations of technology, Facebook, Google, work together in a private public partnership. As a matter of fact, I'm inviting Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg in my modest room off Sun Temple. I check a vaccine, though. You gotta get vaccinated twice, got a COVID pass. For a cup of coffee, I can afford to give you a cup of coffee. I bought some on special. Perhaps not a donut or anything else. I'll see if I can get a little biscuit or something. And to ask you a bazillion, gazillion, zillion questions about science, innovation, and technology, and about your respective experiences and creations in terms of Microsoft, Facebook, Google, and of course Starlink, the dragon, and the Starlink. Wow. In a parallel life, that would have been my thing too. All of them together. Science, innovation, and technology, where satellites, computers, and smartphones, and rockets, all things tech gadget would have been my chosen path, but diverged. Spiritual, artistic, psychological, emotional, physical, irrational, subconscious, psychological. Diverged into that, so can go work hand in hand, science and spirituality, the irrational world, the emotional world, the feelings, the unadmitted. How do you feel certain types of things? I have these emotions, right? Anger, resentment. Oh, I dealt with the negative emotions. I have no idea I was so suicidal, depressed, so low. To admit certain things, to come out 7 years ago, say I am bisexual. You know, I am bisexual. What do you want? I'm bisexual. I'm not gonna. I Why gonna throw stones? What? Because I like to do a little play and have love and make love and get pleasure and receive pleasure from man. From, stalk a little bit. I mean, come on, man. It's just hygiene. Get dirty but get back clean. And microbes, I'm very hygienic. I bathe. I take baths. I take on my hygiene. Brush my teeth. Do this. The hygiene. It's important stuff. Like that. Hygiene for humanity, man. Get dirty but get back clean, because having the microbes, the germs, the bacteria on us get us filthy, and not admitting things, and we'll go crooked in the dark. You know, the crazy fantasies, the fears, the hidden lusts, the fears, that we have, and the paranoia, and stuff like that. To balance the feminine, the divine, and our different characters and natures, right? Because you don't know something's how a person feels, and the sexual urges in some are more than others, right? I'm a Scorpio, so Scorpios, especially androgynous Scorpios like me. But nonetheless, to refine it, to find your own character, your own being, your own lust and desires and knowledge, and to complement the irrational, the emotional, the spiritual, if you will, with the scientific, the logical, the mathematical, the being, to be, the body, to feel the pleasure of the body, of the touch, of the XYZ, of eating, of coffee, whatever, and also the doing part, right? The doing, the action, because it requires action in the world. Alright? It requires certain actions. Right in my room, often temple, I notice if I don't clean a few days after, in the fourth day, I start seeing pieces of things on the floor, so I gotta sweep. Sweep. So otherwise it gets dirty, it gets filthy. I'm not perfect in hygiene and cleanliness. I still work on it. I still have a little bit when I lack, or I don't know, I could do better. Right? I'm not perfect. I'm not far from perfect. I got issues, vices, lusts, Look, in my universal spiritual teachings, the three dimension of being, and with the one that is the highest of the high, and then possibly the lowest of the low. I'm not all the time I have sometimes a step in the highest and sometimes in the lowest, and I aim for the middle, to be balanced, not too selfish, not too selfless, so that I don't want people to step over me. I don't turn the other cheek. I don't play around like that. I don't. I am vengeful. I am vengeful. But vengeance and justice we can discuss. Commensurate, of course. Let's say if I would own a grocery store and I would see that person taking a bread. Say if you're really hungry, let it be. Let him take the bread. But if he takes also the bread with, I don't know, something else that's not edible, so he doesn't need to take that. So I say, hey, keep the bread, but put the booze back, or you need to eat. You can take the bread and the cheese or whatever. You can take the bread and the tomatoes and that piece of salami from the supermarket. Let's say I don't want any financial stress. I don't own property, nothing like that. I don't own a lot of goods. I own barely zero, almost a few clothes, a few hats, and shoes, and I don't own property. I have pieces of dust. City of the pyramids there. Some dust there. That's mine. Floating around in the air. In circles roundabout. When the sun rises, sun sets, but the Great Pyramids there. A little bit of dust. So you gotta discern. Ask questions, discern the crime commensurate to the punishment. I'm calling on those who have been incarcerated for drug offenses. Since I am calling for the legalization of almost all drugs, cannabis, weed, cocaine, speed, ecstasy, give them amnesty. The ones in Canada, United States, and across Europe. And let's make a deal. If they have to serve a year, 2, 3, for that, give a ratio of, let's say, 2/3. 2/3 they gotta serve in the Dragon Army. Secure food, housing, and transport for all. Encourage people to work out, train, volunteer, do exercise, community work, and socially reward thereof. And work with the Dragon Army to ensure and secure freedom and hygiene in public, and the private and the public be secured. And give them amnesty. Make a deal to allow them to serve in the Dragon Army. Right? Go secure the 3 elements of civilization, which is the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, aka the Dragon Army's mission, just like envisioned in my scenario. Paradoxically, in a parallel providential way that began before COVID and resembles COVID in terms of the stock market crash, which occurred due February 20th due to COVID, and in my scenario, October 31st, before COVID, 93 days or so, right? More or less. So that was exactly kind of the same in many ways, right? And now it was averted just last week, a few days ago, Thursday, when they made a deal in the United States. Know that I was in the United States, born in the twice in past lives, 156 years ago that way, which is south, 718 miles, served in the U.S. Army. So I served in the U.S. Army 156 years ago in the past life. Check George Patton, one of the greatest, if not the greatest generals the United States ever had. Scorpio star, born like yours truly. One of my favorite poems, the glass through, glass darkly, where he states his visions that he received. He believes in reincarnation and incarnations. Claims to have been many. Claims to have been a Roman, a Parthian, Carthaginian in many past lives. I was in many past lives too. The Kabbalah, holy teachings, believes in reincarnations, many other spiritualities, religions. Supposedly it's hinted even by Rabbi Jesus, who said the 3 things that I like. Supposedly it's hinted at. How is it hinted at? Well, the claim that of Elijah, him being Elijah or another of the prophets of the Old Testament. So the reincarnation. I believe in reincarnation. If you don't, that's okay. We can work for world peace in a non-sectarian way. You can be an atheist. You can be an atheist. You don't have to dance at the full moon for the goddess with me. You don't have to salute the sun at the sunrise or midday sun or the sunset with me, or midnight or the star count in a spiritual way with me. You can be an atheist in a non-sectarian way and agree. Listen, your world peace mission, international justice mission, securing, ensuring global freedom, and attaining harmony between civilization and nature. I'm an atheist, but I support you in a non-sectarian way. Yes, to create this international citizen integrated social security force by mobilizing 1% of citizenry with NATO member countries and allies, to encourage people to work out, to train, to exercise, which has been, is, and will be medicine and therapy for me, your students. Sometimes we need an encouragement, an encouraging. You know? I was see a child doing the spin. Wow, so beautiful how they do it. Encourage them. Say yes, do it again. Wow, do it again. And I'm exercise. Encourage them to run, to do push-ups, to do squats, to balance the time on the online. It's more together. You know, I believe some mental illness, I don't know in percentage, some or some, it's because we have to be in balance with the body and the mind. I'd have to work together. The needs, the lust, the urges of the body, the naturalness of the body, the sanctity, the divine. Pleasure is divine on the body. Giving a massage is in my spirituality, my spiritual beliefs is a divine. If I can bring pleasure to one of my allies or armies by getting their feet, washing their feet, kissing them or massaging them or whatever. If I can bring pleasure, that's divine, that's holy, that's sacred. And receiving as well, receiving and giving, because I'm not totally selfless. Sometimes I go a little bit low and say, I can't afford a massage therapist, and I just cannot afford it. I get so pissed off, and then I self-analyze myself. Few commissions, had 3 essential temporary positions during COVID with placement agencies, temp agencies as they're called. You know, it's precarious work. They can lay you off for just being late once, and they don't even ask the explanation, or they don't say don't be late again. They don't give you a warning. Everybody's supposed to give benefit of the doubt to everybody. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Ask questions and give people a warning. Adrian h.a.dragan never, not yet, have I blocked anybody on social media yet. I give them a warning. I play around. I like to play. I don't troll it. They comment this and that. What for? Just write, I love you. Adrian h.a.dragan loves you. Adrian h.a.dragan loves you. Adrian h.a.dragan loves you. Write my name. Be blessed to be able to type millions of fold if you're my ally. And, for the rest, keep my holy, sacred, and divine name out of your mouth. If it's not for a blessing. Create the 2 institutions, complementary covenant cooperative institutions by debt refusion, DBTREFUSION, just like based on the physics theory, not yet put into practice or discovered, but this one to be put into practice. Come on, just in time. Taking all private and public debt, refusing it, taking that number, create a global central bank by biometrics, the hand, the eye, the voice are unique biometrics, perhaps in parallel to a tangible currency. The debt refusion, all private and public debt, whatever the number is, in US dollars, of all private and public debt of the countries, Canada, US, Germany, Israel, and other NATO allies and allies who join us across the Americas. I'm a Pan-Americanist. I believe in the continent of America, North American and Pan-American and Pan-International, universal, global. My own peculiar, perhaps North American ways, and that's a bit eccentric, a lot eccentric, I guess. Refusing the debt, creating the 2 institutions complementary, one to organize mass dancing events across the world for mass financing and encouragement and support of the cleaning of the oceans, rivers, waterways, lakes, forests, mountains thereof, to attain harmony between civilization and nature and the dragon army, to secure the 3 elements of civilization, thus securing and ensuring freedom for all, regardless of age, sexual orientation, XYZ, you name it, in a non-sectarian way. Those 3 elements of civilization, essential elements of civilization, are food, housing, and transport, and make it easy to bi-weekly, monthly, for people to travel a lot. I want in the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire people to do a lot of traveling, learning about each other, and taking action, of dancing, of working out, of doing things together, of learning. Because since 1984, we had a lot of specialization, and it is good. But in my years of struggle and suffering, I've learned and studied a lot of books and came to the theory that we need democratic fusion and public-private partnership for the West to be rebirthed and regenerated, if you will, to not just the West, but the whole world system, because now we have a global system, but I'm speaking from a North American perspective, a more Western perspective, like Pan-American perspective, but the universal, international, global perspective. So we need also an integration by encouraging volunteerism, community work in different organizations, and people cross sectors to learn about what the other does and how we're interconnected, right? To ask questions. For example, I'm here in Quebec, Hydro Quebec. Right? I would love to go on a ride with the Hydro Quebec people, right? Because we have hydro, how it works, how it was built. It's an amazing feat of engineering, and we're blessed with clean energy. Because you have the rivers, have the big rivers, the dams in Quebec, the huge one, built in the 50s and 60s and 70s, right? It's amazing. It's how it works, how the big, how the weight, the dimension, the structures of all the Hydro Quebec. It's really an amazing thing, everything that we have. So integrate, because we have specialization, and little cross-sector discussion and communication, right? So we know a little bit and not all close to nothing at all. Look at the recycling. I worked on the compost project. I compost every week. How does it go? How? Where? What? How many people have ever been? So we need volunteering and to integrate more, keep the specialization, but also integrate and cross-sector integration. So the Dragon Army, integrated social security force, absorbing, integrating, and absorbing, infusing, if you will, fusing with all ALL existing public and private security forces and armed forces, right? And these two institutions to fuse and integrate and work with all ALL private and public organizations and institutions, corporations, private corporations, Walmart, Facebook, Pepsi, Cola, McDonald's, Burger King, right? Myself, food security, a big issue. Listen, yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan, you can go give me burger every day. I'll be happy, happy with a good burger, do some good work. I want food security, but a good housing to travel, to have allotted X elements to move miles per day for ages and whatever, to have allotted for trains, for aircraft, for volunteer car, for whatever, travel per day, or accumulated and cumulative, inner city, intracity, rural, urban, XYZ, or whatever number come up. I have it, but it's written down somewhere, to have that number for people to be able to travel. If they don't use it, it's cumulative. So let's say in a week they've accumulated 300 miles that they can travel. In a month they accumulate 1,200 miles, so they can go from here to there, to across North America, or special occasions, right? Special traveling, wherever the case may be, to integrate, to do community work, volunteer, XYZ, to work together. Public-private partnership, the two institutions, international citizen integrated social security force, aka the Dragon Army, to absorb, integrate with all existing public and private security forces, armed forces, and corporations, and mainly public and private security forces, the armed forces of NATO member countries first. The Dancing Goddess Army, to be a parallel to the patriarchal sports league. I'm going to say it again: NFL, National Football League; NHL, National Hockey League; MLB, Major League Baseball; NBA, National Basketball Association, right? National Basketball Association. They've been making millions. Average salaries are in the millions since 1984, right? To those aforementioned, in the millions. Some make 3 million, others make $1 million, some make 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 million annually on an annual base salary. Right? So there's billion-dollar industries. Right? I'm asking them, please, I love you. I love sports. I love working out. It's a necessary dimension thing, right? Channeling the aggression, the collective aggression or the individual aggression. I am speaking because I grew up hard. Whatever XYZ, so many different things. Have aggression. I have force. I have violence even. I channel it. One of my teacher, my friend, the one I love and call sister, she helped me a lot to channel that. To channel, understand it. This is part of my more vigorous. Some are more vigorous. Some are more intellectual, more different natures, right? You have natures which are more forceful, more aggression, more violent. And we have to also be balanced. I'm androgynous. I'm androgynous. I have a very feminine side. I am also a woman. 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 I was a woman in many past lives. They chased me out of the temple of Artemis. Came with their black rituals and their black cross. Temple of Artemis. Temple of Diana. Temple of Isis. I remember past life when I was chased out after the conversion of Constantine. Anyways, understanding it and our natures, our hidden lusts, hidden fears. Some fears we might have are so irrational and unadmitted. Some things are unadmitted. Is he cheating on me? Is she cheating on me? Right? Am I so small? I am. I have a tiny little scar. My little scar. I have tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny hands. That Trinity. But the goddess said, it's okay, baby, honey. Show you past lives, you as a woman, and now your intersex born little scar didn't know what to perform. 1984, mother. Androgynous. I go you hard. I dance. What's the secret to my dance? Is that I channel tiny small sparks of the countless veils of the goddess that dances with her brother, the sun, in whose face I am also a piece of dust. So got a little tiny scar, a little tiny, so tiny. But you can tickle, stroke trillion times. Say a trillion times. a trillion, a trillion has 12 zeros. Well, that's a lot of times. Give you a trillion kisses to my allies and armies. Make you all millionaires. I'm a millionaire now. Pledge your allegiance, Adrian, h.a.dragan, dancing goddess, dragon empire. Make you a millionaire overnight. Well, I ain't got no money for the studio. My rent is paid. Got till October 31st. I got some food to survive. Got noodles, about 26-cent noodles. They're from China. They're most affordable on the market. I am still calling for the re-establishment of cordial, mutually beneficial and friendly relations. Sino-Canadian, Sino-North American, Sino-Western relations with China. Right? I'm not a fascist. I'm not a communist. I'm a universal revolutionary centrist. The 21st century, since my theory probably is a universal revolutionary centrism, democratic fusion, private public partnerships are the way forward for the climate change, for the climate crisis, for the social, financial, and economic crisis, for ensuring freedom and security, and for my brothers. Ain't no going back. Our sisters, our friends, our mothers, the women, they are rising. We have to reach a balance and a compromise and dialogue all things and communicate about all things. There's no going back. I don't want to go back to anything that I was. I struggled, suffered suicide, XYZ, hid my bisexual love, urges, love, lusts. Afraid to admit XYZ. What are they gonna say? I'm gonna be ostracized. I was ostracized for years already in the underworld. It's like I woke up 11, 12, 11 years, 9 months later, and from the underworld I'm gonna rebirth. I was. Wow, a life connection, what the hell? I dance, The secret to my dance. I dance for a goddess. If I die tonight, I said goddess, G-O-D-D-E-S-S, seven holy little word. And we need to let the women back in the priestesses, into the temples, man. When they say God, also say and the goddess. Yeah, and the fucking goddess. They don't like that. They don't like that I say goddess, some of them. Some say, oh, no. Well, I'm fucking smaller than their goddesses' trees, man. Hairs on her body. Mystery, holy, sacred, and divine mystery. I don't know. I don't have all the spiritual, social answers. I'm COVID. My trinity has been, is, and will be this. First and foremost, do not know what caused COVID. Second, I believe it was transmitted from snakes to human beings. Third, since there's a doubt in my belief, since I do not know for sure, I cannot rule out another possibility. Man-made virus, accident in a lab, bioweapon, experiment gone wrong, XYZ. A fourth dimension to that trinity on COVID is what do know 100%, without a doubt, is that before COVID, 93 days before COVID, October 17, 2019, I performed my first session of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the 300 workout, which was designed, made, and created, produced to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario, which in a nearly providential paradoxical parallel way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crises. And since my scenario of the devastation and the destruction due to World War III had a solution, since the devastation and the destruction due to COVID, that's my solution that I'm calling, advocating, and have begun advocating since July 24, 2020. The creation of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security Force, just as envisioned in my scenario of the Dragon Army, in order to secure the three elements for all. Those three elements are food, housing, and transport for all via public-private partnership. And then we can encourage people to be hygienic in public. If others want to, stop throwing dirt, filth, and poison in my eye, brother. Food, housing, and transport, those three elements to be secured. We can encourage people to work out, train, volunteer, do encourage hygiene in public, to wash their hands when they go inside a public domain or public building. And of course, encourage people to work out, train, exercise, and volunteer in community work, and socially reward community volunteering and volunteer work and community work. And of course, to do things that they love doing, volunteering, whatever they love doing, art, dancing, painting, carving, whatever art, whatever they do want to do, or they want to learn XYZ. And the Dragon Army securing food, housing, and transport for all is the main principle, thus ensuring and securing freedom for all allies, supporters, citizens, and subjects of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Empire. Dragon Army motto is nobody is born a dragon, not even yours truly with a surname Dragon, D-R-A-G-O-N. Took blood, sweat, and tears for me to turn that A in my surname into an O. Dragon, Dragon Zero, drop down, give Dragon Zero 13 push-ups with love and for the sake of world peace. Tell the leaders of the free world that's my message to them. Yours truly took blood, sweat, and tears to turn that A into an O. Blood, sweat, and tears to turn that A into an O. Thousands of push-ups, thousands of squats, thousands of hawks, thousands of marching steps and steel-toe boots in this Hawk Island, Montreal, and barefoot here in this room, office, and temple, or going with the slippers or and with the running shoes that my friend, oftentimes teacher, the one I love and go, call sister, gifted yours truly. Man, the steps of marching steps in this past months since COVID to turn that A into a no. Motto of the Dragon Army is nobody's born a dragon, you become one. How? All to be eligible to be the next dragons after yours truly, Dragon Zero, General Founding Captain. All ALL orders given to the Dragon Army must be obeyed by yours truly, Dragon Zero. No order would be given but to secure food, housing, and transport. Once those three elements are secured, we can encourage people to volunteer, do community work, love, 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 love. If I'm going to meet in the public domain, I want to see people working out, training, exercising, loving, 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 lots of love, L-O-V-E. Lots of L-O-V-E, lots of L-O-V-E, lots of L-O-V-E, lots of L-O-V-E, lots of love, touching, kissing. If I give a speech or I dance for my allies and armies, you want I dance for you and you dance with me. I rap Oh, I mean, rapping too much. Dirty mouth. The only thing I got big is this big fucking mouth. Got tiny hands, tiny feet, and a tiny clit dick. A dick clit. A clitoris and a dick. Puss, androgynous, intersex. A little scar. It's got a scar of a pussy lips, which is a clit dick. A little scar on it. Big mouth. On Trinity. Small hands, small feet, small clit dick. That's my Trinity. A little scar. It's got a scar on it. It grows a bit. It grows. Sometimes. Perhaps too often. Anyways, fourth dimension to that Trinity. Yours truly. Big mouth. Not perfect, far from it. Yours truly, far from being perfect. Got issues, got vices. Was suicidal. Many years, struggle, depression, you name it. Don't know COVID, what caused it. Know that I got the vaccines in the forehead, twice in the forehead of goddess's forehead. I'm willing to get the third, the same place, goddess's forehead. My goddess tattoo here. My friend got a goddess tattoo here, and a lion here. Many other tats. Star David in the eye there, in the chest. That was symbolic spiritual meaning, and I guess they just in time and providence. For now, for 2021 October, meaning wasn't coming until December 3rd. The meaning won't be revealed even more. Understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and we move forward. Dragon Zero. All orders given to the Dragon Army must be obeyed by yours truly, as I will not give any order that myself will not do with my execute myself. It will be to secure food, housing, and transport. Transport, of course, transport in all ways, public and private, of course, the highways, seaports, trains, of course, in the air. A public-private partnership, and food and housing for all citizens. We're all working together with the private corporations, the tech corporations, the food apps, big food corporations, especially fast food, to make arrangements and deals. The public-private partnership, refusing all private and public debt, creating the global central bank to issue universal unit of exchange. The voice, the eye, and the hand are unique biometrics, in parallel perhaps with a tangible one. Once you have secured food, housing, and transport for all those three elements, encourage people to volunteer, work, exercise, and do community work. Healthcare system, securing healthcare system, being an army of service, being an army of service as well, going where we have to go soft, we have to go soft, we have to be loving and caring, have to be loving and caring, finesse, we have to do work out hard, move rock hard blocks, concrete, commensurate force and strength to be used. And securing food, housing, and transport for all. Those three elements, civilization, essentials of civilization, food, housing, and transport. Once those three are secured by this public-private partnership and the creation of the global central bank by biometrics, by my theory put into practice, called debt refusion, financial theory put into practice, basically taking all existing private and public debt, taking that number to finance and create and finance the three cooperative covenant complementary institutions of the Dancing Goddess Army, officially international integrated dance league, integrating albeit all gender, all ages, all sexual orientations. We can have professional dancers and twerkers and all genres of dancing, professional, but in parallel to clean, mass clean, the oceans, rivers, waterways, lakes, mountains, of the pollutions, of the plastics, especially oceans, of this and that. So to dance for Mother Nature, the greatest artist, for attaining harmony between civilization and nature, and turn dance to the greatest and most powerful weapon for world peace and attaining harmony between civilization and with nature, and for recreation, rejuvenation, and healing, and a rebirth and a new life emerging from new life. Was truly the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Fundamentally, I'm the world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. 7 words fundamentally. And then independent artist, activist, athlete, underground rapper. Fundamentally, that's what I am. The world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Yours truly, Adrian h.a.dragan born, creating the two aforementioned institutions, the Dancing Goddess Army, Complementary Cooperative Covenant, 2. The Dragon Army, securing food, housing, and transport, simple and direct and straightforward. And then after those are secured, we're going to be ready for the next, if variants, Delta, whatever, next generations will be able to, for the next pandemics, to respond, to work together. The Dragon Army to secure local, national, international, those three elements. And then after those three elements are secured, to work for others, internet connections, to have Dragon armies, webcam, see where the security of the highways, the security of the transport, the trains, the security of the airplanes, the security of the seaports, to have Dragon webcams, cams, yours truly everywhere. Well, not everywhere, not of course in the public, in my room. If I go shut down the lights, get naked, start dancing naked and doing this for an hour. Right? I could do it in private, and balance and harmony and equilibrium between the private and the public. It's also part of it. Non-sectarianism. Non-sectarian. Fine. You're an atheist. Okay. You don't believe my spirituality. You don't have to come dance by the moon and the moon and incantations and meditations that I do. As a universal spiritual teaching student, because I don't have all the answers. I'm learning every day. Mother Nature, the greatest artist. Just a speck of dust. Man. Right? But nonetheless, you're not atheist. You're an atheist, you don't believe. So yeah, but we can work on non-sectarian way on securing, ensuring freedom. Right? Then people can work, can volunteer, do community work, carve, love who they will, where they will. I encourage people in the public to make love, to dance, to work out, to train. I love it. I saw it the other day. Beautiful gay and lesbian couples kissing. I love seeing it. I love seeing people kiss or make out. I don't look too much. I don't stare. I try not to stare, but I say, yeah, fuck yeah, man. LOVE, man. Just love, man. Nice. Life is short, man. Shit. LOVE. Get dirty, but get back clean, royal, lofty, hygiene. Hygiene for humanity. And Dragon Empire. Dragon Army. All service. Men Army. The Dragon Army, men, women, trans men. Welcome to Eden Hunter, Dragon Zero. In a service. We got food, housing secured, XYZ parameters. Poof. Rock and roll. We got XYZ square miles, kilometers, that city, rural, urban area. Pop, report. Cool. Sabbath, 37 hour, 49 minute, 42 second, almost 38 hours Sabbath, and a bi-weekly, yours truly on the servicemen and women. I'm calling for a lot of things to be shut down in terms of pollution for the cars, to have more public transport during the Sabbath, willingly, hopefully, willingly. So as we reduce pollution, on the Sabbath, we want to see almost no cars on the roads for just 38 hours from Friday midnight till Sunday afternoon. Perhaps a few red buses and green. For the Dragon Army color is green. Dragon Army color is red, officially my favorite color, and green. The color of the dancing goddess. Dancing Goddess Army. Says finance, world peace, tax the banks, and together we win. That's what it says. 3 hearts. In case you're wondering. I have 3 types of buses during the Sabbath. fourth dimension. Well, people know what to expect if they take them. A green bus, dancing goddess army, lots of dancing in it. A red bus, lots of workout, stretching, massaging. More dragon army, red buses. Dancing goddess army, green buses. And we got the rainbow buses, those allies and supporters of both the dragon army and the dancing goddess army. Rainbow black buses where black and white, where allies, supporters, citizens, subjects of the dancing goddess, the dragon empire. So a few buses just circulate, rural, urban, those buses, the dancing goddess and the dragon empire during the Sabbath. So that is no less pollution. Less pollution. My hope is that people will comply, cooperate, that we reduce, right, the emissions of pollutions in the Sabbath, and in case, of course, for emergency, whatever, to cooperate. Ask them nicely, give them a warning. Could you not do it next week? Just try to get out of your car. Take one of our buses, or hopefully electric buses, hydro buses. That we have a few more going. It's my vision. And then midnight Friday, shut down for recreation, pleasure, dancing. From midnight Friday, recreational drugs and massages and lots of loving and bathing. And Friday midnight until Sunday 3 p.m. 37 hours, 49 minutes, 42 seconds, almost 38, almost 30, almost 38. So the law gives you a general ideas with the Sabbath for the recreation, pleasure, the dancing goddess and the dragon and the phoenix youth, but not only for all citizens, allies, supporters, subjects of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire. My allies, armies, bless you on the mountain, Mount Royal, massage, kiss, lotion, hug, and what can do, will do, be of service. Yours truly, h.a.dragan, also serving, best way you can, loving or whatever you need. You need some love, you need some touched. I love to be touched, I love to be put into BDSM switch sometimes. I'm asking yay, Kanye, marry yours truly, h.a.dragan, an open BDSM switch marriage. Gonna switch BDSM. Leash. For world peace. My marriage proposal to Kanye West, because I suspect that Kanye's issues in the past years have been because Kanye West is also bisexual, but he's not open, he's not admitting it, and yes, calling mental illness a few years ago, and medication, and I believe from my analysis that Kanye West is actually bisexual, like I was struggling with it more than 13.3 years, and only 7 years ago I came out, right, as being bisexual. Pansexual, I'm pansexual because I sexual attraction and would date trans men and trans women and people of color, black, white, brown, Asians. That's what pansexual means. You're open to dating and having sex and making love. And I'm not looking for serious relationships. It's not for me, not for marriage, not for not for that. I'm collectively marrying all the allies and armies of the dancing goddess and the dragon empire. I got from the goddess. I channel kisses, washes, massages to all willingly. We get dirty, but get back clean. Not sexual possessiveness. And we've changed a lot, and it has not come without blood, sweat, and tears. And for me personally, it has not been without blood, sweat, and tears, and it will not be and it has not been for Canada, United States of America, North American civilization, the Americas, Western civilization, and the world for that matter. I'm speaking about sexual liberation and these new energies that are coming in, what can be very intense and the love urge is pushing us to suicidal and homicidal rages, and we need to understand them and channel them into constructive action. And this is what yours truly, Adrian, h.a.dragan born who died, is doing with the dancing goddess and the dragon empire. Now I'm gonna be doing reading 93 minutes in. Enough of me. Let's get more coffee. More coffee for the body. we are gonna do some education reading, since yours truly is going to be and asking the sports leagues to donate and support the creation of the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dragon Army. Bust a step to the right, bust a step to the left, bust it up to the light, bust it up to the night, bust it up to the sight, bust it up to the light, bust it up to the night, bust it up to the sight, bust it left and bust it right, put a torque on, put a light, put a bust it with my fingers, with my snapper, with the middle finger, or the pinky, or the toes, with small eight up and big, or the mediocre, or the mediocre, or the blood, sweat and tears, what you doing with me, dear? Say what do you want to be her? Just admit the fact that we got all perfect and vices, and we all like sometimes. Say all like sometimes. Like us, hey, like us now. What I'm doing this for fame. I'm doing this for purpose, for pleasure. Yep, for my allies, armies, rap and dance. Whoopee. So we're gonna do reading on the NFL. Yours truly, Adrian H. Dragonborn. Since I'm asking the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, and European Soccer League, please politely, priestess, goddess, through yours truly, priestess, the goddess asks, guards h.a.dragan, to donate and let us dance, and you put some green and some goddess on all your fields, and some symbolic to give us no less than half, 50% of all the financial money that you make willingly loving, in order to clean the environment, organize mass dancing events for the mass cleaning of the oceans, rivers, waterways, lakes. This October 3rd, I'm asking politely, I'm asking with love, and as an ally, as a pansexual androgynous, I'm supporting Nassib, the only openly gay player, but there's at least 10% of people, players, 12 patriarchal male dominated sports leagues that are bisexual or gay can say that. Not because Freud was partly right. I'm not a Freudian, but I believe some of his psychological theories and analysis were correct. So there is some things that Freud said that are correct, Jung said that are correct, and of course many other things that my father, the greatest living ever poet, Aleister Crowley, also wrote a great poem, anthem about the sun. I do rap like the sun shines. The NFL, we're gonna be reading on the NFL. First game of American football. American football. What is considered to be the first American football game was played on November 6, 1869, between Rutgers and Princeton. That's providential, paradoxical providence. Because November 6 is, of course, one of my birthdays in this life. I was born November 6. Yours truly. My spiritual birth is July 24th. I've got a child, 14, who gives me orders. Say, why are you so depressed? Do some push-ups or march in the sun. I'm so depressed, Daddy. Oh, my child dances not, and I dance for him. I take orders from a child. Yours truly, Dragon Zero, Captain, General, Founding Captain of the Dragon Empire, the Dragon Army, and the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Empire. I take orders from a child, man. Not a paradox of that. Yours truly, Dragon Zero, takes orders, salutes a child. Isn't that a paradox? And why are you so depressed? They think so serious, turning things into joke and laughs. It says push-ups, squats, hawks, dance, rap. Child gives me orders. What is considered to be the first American football game was played November 6, 1869 between Rutgers and Princeton, two college teams. They consisted of 25 players per team and used a round ball that could not be picked up or carried. What is considered to be the first American football game was played on November 6, because of my birthday. I think also the Marines, November 6, were founded. I served in the U.S. Army 156 years ago. Now to my brother Nassib. 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 Love you. Nassib, born April 12, 1993, is an American football defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders. Rate 'em up, rate 'em up, rate 'em up. Supporting, rate 'em up, supporting. Let's see, Raiders first since Raiders 3-0, 3 wins in a row. Raiders seek first, and we got it since 2002. Wow. Since 2002. Wow. We're gonna get 13-3. This was my prediction. 13-3. My prediction is 13-3 for the Raiders for the season. So we got the 3 in a row. Paul Nassib is an American football defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders of the National Football League. He played college football for the Penn State Lions. Lions earning the most All-American honors as seen in 2015. Nassib was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round of the 2016 NFL Draft. Has also played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In 2021, Nassib, Nassib, became the first active NFL player to publicly come out as gay. Wow. In 2021, Nassib became the first active NFL player to publicly come out as gay, because there are a few others who came out after they had finished their NFL season. It's hyper-masculine, it's masculine, aggressive. It's channeling it's, listen, we need to channel people who got more aggression, got more rough, more whatever, more. We need to channel it by sports, by doing, by art, by dancing, by whatever it is. Right? The energy in itself is not negative, right? It's not evil in itself. It just has to be understood and channeled to the action that's what takes in the world. And where the words, actions, and deeds, Like somebody was saying, well, I wrote online and was communicating, and he said, well, listen, I think I had a bad view of rap music. I had a very bad view. He said it's degenerate. He used the word that's very harsh. Critic. In terms of criticism, degenerate. I don't like that word, degenerate. This makes me think of when I was a Jewish sex worker and entertainer, servant and sex worker. From 1925 to 1937, 11 years and 9 months in the past life in ancient Germany. I don't like that word. They call it degenerate art, and but degenerate art is not a fan of censorship. Although sometimes my words, when depending what situations or who surrounding whatever, you gotta be sensitive, I guess, a bit discerning, and that it can trigger people, can be upsetting. You know, I probably upsetting words, speech, actions, or done a lot of things. I've said a lot of things that I've offended in a XYZ way to men, women, and whatever. Sure, I'm not fucking perfect. I'm not far from it. I admit a lot of things that I don't. They put a lot of masks on it. Yeah. Call Paul Nassib is an American football defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders of the National Football League. He played college football for the Penn State Nittany Lions, earning unanimous All-American honors as a senior in 2015. Nassib was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the third round. He played in 2021. Nassib became the first active player, NFL player, wow, in history, first active NFL player to publicly come out as gay. And I'm saying there's at least 10% of players in the NFL that are bisexual or gay or bi-curious or whatever, gay, or had bisexual gay experiences. 10%, and that's a minimum 10%, 1 out of 10. On the field, 11 offensive players, 11 defensive players. Out of those 11, on both sides, offensive and defensive, there's at least one that is at least bisexual or even gay. At least one. As I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt. You can contradict. People can say whatever they want, but I don't doubt it. I sit there. They're hiding it. They're repressing it. You know, by sports, by they got money. They for money reasons, for whatever reasons, psychological, spiritual, even burning hell. Burning hell already. They burned the witches, the women priestesses. They can nah, come on. But yeah, I can understand why people are not honest or not coming out. Just like a lot of things, right? Like, you know, a lot of things, man, don't come out. Beast, call Nassib. Call Paul Nassib, April 12, 1993, age 28, Westchester, Pennsylvania. 6 feet 7 inches. Big boy. Beautiful. Thank you for coming out. I support you. I hope you play well. And I hope nobody hates you or discriminates against you because you are gay, and you are motherfucking braver than the other motherfuckers in the NFL who are not as fucking brave to fucking admit it. That you fantasized, or that you fantasize and wanna so get a sucker or toucher or lover, because it is love. It is love, urge, or lust, and both holy can be. Love you, man. Allies of us, LGBTQ rainbow, love you, and continues every day, and it's our own internal. Recommend good hygiene, good working out, training, exercising, has-beenism will be medicine and therapy for yours truly, especially dancing. Lately, as I'm making dancing the most powerful weapon on earth for world peace, international justice, and global security. And LGBTQ Nation, I'm going to read from LGBTQ Nation an article. Oh, there's a photo there. I thought it was a podcast. Kal Nassib waited to come out because he didn't know if it would ruin his career. I understand it. I understand it. I understand it. And we gotta understand and try and discern all the best, all the feelings, the urges that we have, right? Like, for so many centuries, women, our sister, our mothers, were called whores, and my sisters, my friends, my lovers. The holy word, bear it holy. Holy, W-H-O-R-E. Holy whore. Holy whore. Holy whore. Because of XYZ, because of all men's insecurities or concerns or nonsense doctrine of a monosexual Jehovah's God, of a monosexual God, and a virgin birth, and whatever crazy psychology and spiritual teachings and aberrations against nature and the goddess offense and the emotions and feelings and the irrational that must, the Sibylle, the priestess of the subconscious. How important, because not admitted, and reveals the subconscious forces through dreams, through and the fear of losing sexual mates or sexual pleasure because of somebody else, right? That another factor. Or the hatred, frenetic hatred of Jews and blacks in North American society and Europe for that matter, Western civilization for that matter, being seen as symbols of illicit sexual objects and stuff. Right? Right. Look at irrational fear that drove perhaps Hitler to murder, to atrocities. When he wrote in the Mein Kampf, he said, well, that Jews are bringing in Negroes from Africa with this sick thought of mixing the so-called pure Aryan race, right? He wrote that Jews are bringing Negroes immigration in Germany to mix the race. He wrote that, it's written, he wrote that in his hateful Mein Kampf, his book there. Right? Wrote, Negroes are brought in by Jews to what they called miscegenation. Well, if you are one human race, I've been called a mutt. Mutt. Wow. I want to be Adrian h.a.dragan. I was born. Nobody's born a dragon. Till you admit that you're able to do the germ war integrated total body training system and admit whatever wrong you did, because slate said everybody deserves second, third, even fourth chances depending as to redemption. Not promising anything. But to admit, and then we can ensure and secure freedom, which the sword of freedom is. My tiny hands is too heavy, too sharp, two edges, responsibility and liberty on both sides for me to lift with my tiny hands by my solo. Perhaps if my sister helps, I'll be able to lift it. Calling for operation ensuring freedom in Canada, North America, Europe, across the West, for that matter, the world, all allies who will to join North Dragon. Called Nassib waited to come out because he didn't know if it would ruin his career. Las Vegas Raider defensive end Colin Nassib, the first player to play in an NFL regular season game while being publicly out, sat down for an interview with the Comeback Stories podcast hosted by Donnie Starr and his Don Wall, Nassib's teammate. So Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Colin Nassib, the first player to play in an NFL regular season game while being publicly out, sat down for a rare interview with the Comeback Stories podcast hosted by Donnie Starkings and Darren Waller, Nassib's teammate. Las Vegas Raiders defensive end called Nassib the first player to play in an NFL regular season game while being publicly out. Can you imagine it took so long? So many suffered and suffer now in silence, I guess. Called Nassib bravest motherfucker on the field, man. In the NFL, man. Home of the brave, baby. Land of the free, goddamn it. He called Nassib, goddamn, he's freer. And he's motherfucking braver. And he's motherfucking freer, motherfuckers. And a motherfucking a majority of motherfucking NFL players and all the millionaires, I guarantee you that, man. Call Nassib is motherfucking the aspirations of, I'm saying as was an American twice in past lives and 718 miles from Hawk Island, Montreal, 156 years that way fled. I served in the U.S. Army and I came out to my spirits. I said, I can't fight. Well, you can't fight anymore. You're the best goddamn warrior on the motherfucker I got. Said, I'm in love with a Negro woman. I saw her bathing. I've been watching her bathe since I was young. And she was beautiful and singing. She had the most beautiful chocolate body. And I fell in love with her. I wish I could marry her so we free them slaves. I said, what'd you say, boy? Say, I want my friend man with a Negro woman. Say, you fell in love with a Negro woman? You say love, boy? I said, I fell in love with a Negro woman. Yeah, I did fell in love in the past life with a Negro woman. Beautiful, voluptuous, beautiful, beautiful, wicked, divine. On the moon star, she's singing something good. And I fell in love, goddamn it, with her. I've been watching her for years now. And before this war started, I was only I'm gonna marry it. And I'm gonna go now. I don't want to be fighting this war no more. I'm gonna come out clean. But you're the goddamn greatest warrior I got, the fiercest, most powerful, most tall every warrior I got on this side, boy. You better not take that back. What did you just say to me? I said, God damn it, you let me go now. And I pulled, and I show him, go, gentleman's duel. I goddamn deserted Robert Lee Lee's forces. Was one of the most powerful, strong, fiercest warrior. I came out clean. I'm not gonna fight this war. I've been lusting for a Negro slave woman. Watching her dance, watching her sing on the moonlight. Beautiful body. She was washing. Or nobody see when it slipped. And I was speaking. I've been doing it for a while. Used to come out regularly, weekly basis. Been doing it as an adolescent and as a young man. And I was over and goddamn married that woman one day. Wow, one of the most beautiful voices ever heard. And I came out clean. Said I'm loving and I'm lusting for that woman to make love with her. Even though I was the most powerful, fiercest warrior on the battlefield in the goddamn deep south, I had a secret. And my secret was I was goddamn in love and marry a colored slave woman. Like goddamn let Robert E. Lee and his goddamn Confederates. I let them fight their own goddamn world. I just went west. I kept on going west till I reached San Francisco. 1863. Around the time of early November to mid-November. 1863. I left. I was born and raised in the deep south. I was 25 years of age in 1863. I was born around 1837. God damn it. I wanted to marry a colored woman. So beautiful, voluptuous, strong, athletic. Thinking by the moon, her voice was goddamn divine. She was singing Miriam's song from the Book of Moses, from the Book of Genesis, Book of Exodus. She was singing the goddamn Bible. I wasn't much of a fan of a Bible. I didn't much reading. I was good at one thing. I was good at goddamn warfare. Logging up, shooting metals. I was good at metal casting. I was good with a goddamn metal hammer. I was good at riding horses. I was goddamn good at hunting. I was good at shooting from far off, moving objects, geese, moving targets. I was one of the best goddamn shooters in the Deep South. I didn't want to let me go. He knew if I would have pulled my gun on him, I would have shot him right there and there. I had my trigger fingers well crossed. Hands of metal, they call me. Metal hands. One of the best warriors under Robert General Lee ever had. Tall redneck. Strong build. I'm from metal, worked at metal and metal. And produced weapons of war. I left the goddamn army, Confederates. Let them fight among their own selves, their own wars. And I ain't gonna fight this war no more. Carry me the secret. Yours truly. Harrison Davids, son of David, fell in love with a Negro slave woman and wanted to marry that slave woman. So I guess her freedom somehow. That was a love story. I left. Probably if I stayed, I'd end up suicidal, killing my own goddamn self. Or killing my own brothers. I just rode west till I reached California. Or San Francisco. And that was my past life. Born and raised in the Deep South, United States of America. One of the best goddamn soldiers Robert E. Lee ever had. Metal hands. Was good with metal. Sharp objects. Knives. Bayonets. Shotguns. Pistols. Revolvers. Goddamn metal balls. And goddamn cannons. Strong. Aggressive and gentlemanly. Said of British nobility or something. Fell in love with a Negro slave. Came out. Left the army. And my general that invited his war that I fell in love with a Negro woman. Her voice was divine. And I used to. And a manly thing I do when they get lustful. I use the word sin because that was the thing back then. Or the Bible. I said I sinned a lot. Lots of sinning I did. A manly way. I spilled semen. I loved that woman. I was spying on her. She used to bathe by the moonlight and wash her body by the lake. Sing the song of Miriam, songs by Solomon. That's how I learned more about the Bible than from her than from the preacher did. And she was beautiful. That was my past life. 156 years ago, 718 miles that way. Back to call Nassib, one more cup of coffee. Hello? Yeah, my past life story. 718 miles down south from Hawk Island, Montreal, 156 years ago. Now, fell in love with a woman of color, a black, beautiful African American from the deep south woman. What? That was Beyonce's great great grandmother. You for real? How do you know, bro? He's telling me, my friend, that the story that I just recounted now in a past life that was Beyonce's great 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 grandmother. You kidding me? No way. In a past life, I didn't fight for the Confederate Army because I fell in love, although I was the best warrior, one of the best fighters, soldiers, warriors, strong, built, fierce. That since I fell in love with Beyonce's great great grandmother. My spiritual friend, thanks for this communication. Dragon Zero, Priestess on out. Adrian, I love you. It could be. So if this revelation is true, that past life of mine, when I was in the deep south, and then stayed a fight with the Confederate Army because I admitted to my general that I wanted to marry a black colored slave woman because she was so beautiful and sang divine voice. I was speaking at and committed sins with, not directly, but directly. And I wanted to marry one day. I was hoping I could marry. I'm not gonna fight the Confederate War to keep the slaves and to keep slavery. I don't want that. And that was Beyonce's great great grandmother. Could be. So Carl Nassib is one of the bravest, and the freest of all players in the NFL. One of dancing goddess in the Dragon Empire is to secure and ensure freedom. I want us to come together, all willingly loving, willingly loving. Make a new race, a free race. Freedom gotta be secured and ensured, and use all the technologies and all psychologies and different natures that we have, and to attain harmony between civilization and nature. During the 36-minute sit-down, Nassib rehashed much of his life and career prior to coming out, and also explained what led him to come out this off-season. He also revealed how he met an awesome guy earlier this year that he's now dating. Good for you. I wish you lots of love, lots of health, both of you. Lots of love, lots of health, lots of good experiences, new experiences. Related. These 15 other LGBTQ football players paved the way for Kal Nassib to play while out. When I decided to come out, it was not easy. Personally, for my life, I didn't want to do it. But I felt a huge obligation to my community, to all the young kids out there who are struggling with their sexuality. Indeed, Sib explained, if it could help just a few of them out, then I could sleep better at night. He also explained how he wanted to come out originally in 2020, but the pandemic convinced him to wait until he could have the in-person support of his locker room. I thought about it every once in a while. Thought about how I wanted to do it when I could do it, he said. I didn't know how people would react. I wanted to make sure I was financially stable before I did. I don't blame you. I'm financially struggling. My rent's paid. My rent's paid. My rent is paid. I got food till October 31st, so I'm good. Fight. To learn. I mean, by fight, I mean working out, training, exercise. Doing the general integrated body training system in Hawkeye. Wait until financially stable before I did, yeah, because I mean, to make a few millions, then he didn't come out during 2020. He made his millions and financially stable, got 3, 4, whatever millions, 1 million, 2, 3 millions. 3 million, you are financially stable. I didn't know if it would ruin my career. I didn't know if guys would be supportive or not. Nassib also said he was going back and forth about coming out to his team before coming out to everybody. I can imagine. He felt that the team he had around him during that off season inspired him to take the leap this summer. I was like, damn, what other gay guy has come out to his entire business? Nassib joked. Coming out to one person is stressful enough. I'm not about to sit up there and have my voice crack 1,000 times. So I wanted to be with my best friends, with my family in a comfortable position. He added, I didn't do it to break barriers. I did it because I felt an obligation to the LGBTQ community. Yes, baby. Yes. He is one of us. He is one of us. He's one of us. To bring representation and visibility to a very popular entertainment business, to a very popular industry that doesn't have a lot of representation. I can take care of myself, you know what I mean, he said, hinting at his physical strength. 6'7". But I'm so freaking lucky that everyone that went through it just not too long ago went through so much discrimination, so much heartache, and couldn't live the life they wanted. So I'm blessed. After years of a lack of representation playing across male sports, Nassib made the difference by coming out on June 21st with a simple Instagram post. So that's June, July, August, September. So that's 3 months. He also donated 100,000 to the Trevor Project, which fights LGBTQ youth suicide. Nassib asked for privacy and hasn't spoken much after the announcement, not commenting publicly outside of Instagram posts and taking questions at an August press conference where he thanked those that supported him. Last month, Nassib became the first out NFL player on an active roster for a team. He became the first player to take the field in a regular season NFL game while out a few days later. This serves as Nassib's first off-field sit-down since coming out, although he still had his teammate by his side. During the podcast, Nassib also talked about the fact that the only thing he was missing in his life was to be someone's number one priority. He dished out on a guy that may finally fill the void for him, saying he's the best. That just that's just the one thing I wanted, and I couldn't have that. So that was the one thing I was like, man, I really effing want that, but I got that now, so it's good. The Raiders were currently 3-0, 3 wins in a row, 3-0, 3-0. First time since 2002. Wow, 19 years. That's a long time. Didn't a good omen. Good God is blessed. Rainbow God is blessed omen, man. Good for you. reminds me of a conversation I had a few months ago with somebody who has worked as a Secret Service agent for since 1984 till about February 2020 when the COVID started. So we had a discussion. I said, you know, Adrian, everybody has something to hide. It's like I worked so much for the Secret Service since 1984 that it's a spy, spook, whatever that. It's 1984 that you know what I learned to a different degree, more or less, or malicious or harmful lies to others or not, or white lies, or to protect some others, or to deceive, or for deception, or for XYZ reasons, sexual, psychological, financial, but that most people are liars. Liars, of course, to different degrees. Some lies harm others. So you drink this and you're giving them poison. Well, it's good for you and you're lying, right? That's harmful. That you harm somebody else. But a lie that doesn't harm somebody else, like Santa Claus or whatever, houses, white lies can be justified, I guess, for the greater good or somebody's good in a way. Like not going with the Greek Aristotelians, Stoic, Socrates, philosophies, and all that, but and he says a lot of people are goddamn liars. I mean, a lie, you know, you get XYZ factors and uh, things they don't admit, the passion or the lusts, the desires, you get preachers, he said, rallying against homosexuality, and they go have at a motel gay encounters with gay prostitutes, you know, adulterous men in high positions who lie to their wives or vice versa, right? Drug habits of the rich and famous or the politicians. Those politicians rallying against saying, well, war on drugs, we gotta finance it more. And they're sniffing up white lines, pyramids the size of in their private lives. As I said, well, that's where you learn. You come up with the resumes. Was a Secret Service agent, spy, spook since 1984 until 2020. So many years, you know. And in summary, he comes up with that everybody's a goddamn. Most people are goddamn liars. I said, no. I said everybody, to a degree, more or less, right? On this is an interview here. Watch on YouTube. We're gonna watch it, but first we're gonna read a bit of the NFL 2020 official playing rules of the National Football League, and we're gonna go for a little bit, but we're gonna take some more coffee. I'm just gonna do a high reading for the before we put in Carl Nassib. Just a little bit more coffee. Carl Nassib. I'm gonna take a bath later. I'm gonna a little bit of another service for my allies and armies: brushing your hair, kissing, brushing your hair, massaging, tickling, loving, dancing for, wrapping, washing, massaging, cooking, kissing, and brushing the hair, and dancing for. That's 2020 playing official playing rules of the National Football League. 2020 rule changes. Rule section 432 modifies fouls that cause the clock to start on a snap. 12.2.9 modifies defenseless player protection for players fielding a kick. 14.4.8 allows certain fouls to be enforced on missing field goal attempts. Modifies requirements for awarding ball following replay review. Oh, it's so long. There's so many rules that were probably never used. Bench here, I feel order of the rules. I'm gonna read the order of the rules. Rule 1. The field. 2. The ball. 3. Definitions. Game timing. 5. Player substitutes. Equipment. General rules. Free kicks. Ball in play. Dead ball. Scrimmage. Forward pass. Backward pass. Fumble. Scrimmage kick. Opportunity to kick a kick. Fair catch. Scoring. Player conduct. Non-player conduct. Penalty enforcement. Instant replay. Overtime procedures. Emergencies. Unfair acts. Guidelines for captains, officials, penalty summary, official signals, table for foul codes, team abbreviation index. Rule 1, the field. Section 1, dimension. Article. Playing lines. The game shall be played upon a rectangular field 360 feet in length and 160 feet in width. The lines at each end of the field are termed end lines. Those on each side are termed sidelines. Goal lines shall be established in the field 10 yards from and parallel to each end line. The area bounded by the goal lines and sidelines is known as the field of play. The surface of the entire field of play must be a league-approved shade of green. The area bounded by goal lines, end lines, and sidelines are known as the end zones. The areas bounded by goal lines and lines parallel to and 70 feet 9 inches inbounds from each sideline are known as the side zones. The lines parallel to sidelines and are termed inbound lines. The end lines and the sidelines are also termed boundary lines. Article 2, the field. The field includes the field of play and the end zones. The field will be rimmed by a solid white border, a minimum of 6 feet wide along the end lines of sidelines, small written. An additional broken limit line 6 feet further outside this border to encompass the field in the non-bench areas, and such broken lines will be continued at an angle from 32-yard line and pass behind the bench areas. Section 2, markings. Article 1, line markings at intervals of 5 yards or yard lines. 3, 12, 9, parallel to the goal lines shall be marked in the field of play. These lines are to stop 8 inches short of the 6-foot solid border. The 4-inch wide yard lines are to be extended 4 inches beyond the white 6-foot border along the sidelines. Each of these lines shall be intersected at right angles by a short line 70 feet, 9 inches long, 23 yards, 1 foot, 9 inches, in from each side to indicate inbound lines. Wow. Article 2, inbound lines. In line with the inbound lines, there shall be marks at 1 yard intervals between each distance of 5 yards for the full length of the field. These lines are to begin 8 inches from the 6-foot solid border and are to measure 2 feet in length. Bottoms of numbers indicating yard lines in multiples of 10 must be placed beginning 12 yards in from each sideline. These are to be 2 yards in length, 2 yards from the middle of each goal line and parallel to it. There shall be marked in the field of play lines 1 yard in length. All boundary lines, goal lines, and marked lines are to be continuous lines. These and any other specified markings must be in white, and there shall be no exceptions without the authorization of the commissioner. Field numerals must also be white. Care must be exercised in any end zone marking or decoration or club identification at the 50-yard line that said marking or decorations do not in any way cause confusion as to delineation of goal lines, sidelines, and end lines. Such markings or decorations must be approved by the commissioner. The four intersections of goal lines and sidelines must be marked at inside corners by weight pylons. In addition, two such pylons shall be placed on each end line, four in all. Article 3, goal line. All measurements are to be made from the inside edges of the line marking the boundary lines. Each goal line marking is to be its end zone so that the edge of the line toward the field of play actual goal line is 30 feet from the inside edge of the end line. Each goal line is to be 8 inches wide. All lines are to be marked with the material that is not injurious to eyes or skin. It is desirable that the yard line markers be flexible in order to prevent injury. No benches or rigid fixtures should be nearer than 10 yards from sidelines. Article 4, ground rules. In league parks where ground rules are necessary because of fixed conditions that cannot be changed, they will be made by the commissioner. Section 3, goal. Article 1, crossbar. In the plane of each end line there shall be a centrally placed horizontal crossbar 18 feet 6 inches in length at the top face of which is 10 feet above the ground. The goal is the vertical plane extending indefinitely above the crossbar and between the lines indicating by the outer edges of the goalposts. Article 2, goalposts. All goalposts will be single standard type, offset from the end line in bright golden color. The uprights will extend 35 feet above the crossbar and will be no less than 3 inches and no more than 4 inches in diameter. An orange colored ribbon 4 inches by 42 inches to be attached to the top of each post. I'm learning something every day, so I don't know it all. Who knew that? How many fans of the NFL knew this? 10%? 5%? 1%? Goalposts must be padded in the manner prescribed by the league. Section 4. Players' benches. At the opinion of the home team, both the players' benches may be located on the same side of the field. In such a case, the end of each bench shall start at the 45-yard line and continue towards the adjacent goal line. Rule 1. When both benches are so located, the chain crew and lines persons are to operate during the entire game on the opposite side of the benches. Chain crew and the ball boys girls. Members of the chain crew and the ball boys girls must be uniformly identifiable as specified by the commissioner. White shirts are to be worn by members of the chain crew. Section 3, sideline markers. The home club must provide and use the standard set of sidelines markers that have been approved by the commissioner. The ball. Rule number 2, the ball. Section 1, dimensions. The ball must be a Wilson. Hand selected, bearing the signature of the commissioner of the league, Roger Goodell. Well, Roger Goodell must you dance and I'm asking that the salaries of the cheerleaders be tripled. That's 300%. So for every dollar, give them 3. The ball shall be made up of an inflated 12 inches to 30. The ball shall be made up of an inflated 12.5 to 13.5 pounds. So this is the weight. 12.5 to 13.5 pounds. So 12.5 minimum to 13.5 maximum pounds. The ball should be made up of inflated urethane, urethane bladder, enclosed in a pebble-grained leather case. and urethane. Urethane is a colorless and odorless crystalline compound that emits toxic fumes of nitrogen oxides when heated to decomposition. Ball should be made up of an inflated pounds urethane bladder enclosed in a pebble-grained leather case. My brother, stop throwing dirt, filth, and poison in it. God is blessed. Natural tan color without corrugations of any kind. It shall have the form of a prolate spheroid, and the size and weight shall be long axis 11 to 11 and 1/4 inches, 11 inches to 11 inches and 1/4 of an inch. Long circumference 28 to 28 and a half inches. Short circumference 21 to 21 and a quarter of an inch. Weight 14 to 15 ounces. The referee shall be the sole judge as to whether all balls offered to play comply with these specifications. A pump is to be furnished by the home club, and the balls shall remain under the supervision of the referee until they are delivered to the ball attendant just prior to the start of the game. Section 2. Supply. Each team will make 12 primary and 12 backup balls available for testing by the referee no later than 2 hours and 30 minutes prior to the starting time of the game to meet league requirements. See, the game was played 6 November 1869. I was still alive in that past life, although out west. November 6th, my birthday in this life, 1984, November 6th, in this life. First game providentially, and see how many and general rules and some rules and that, but Providence, now I'm learning more. Didn't know this, that each team will make 12 primary and 12 backup balls available for testing by the referee no later than 2 hours and 30 minutes prior to the starting time of the game to meet league requirements. For all games, 6 new footballs sealed in a special box and shipped by the manufacturer to the referee will be opened in the official's locker room 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to the starting time of the game. For all games, 6 new footballs sealed in a special box and shipped by the manufacturer to the referee will be opened in the official's locker room 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to the starting time of the game. These balls are to be specially marked by the referee and used exclusively for the kicking game. Wow. Now to this extensiveness, I didn't know. I knew there were rule regulations about the balls, very sometimes stringent, regimented, might even say. My workout is now regimented in my general war integrated total body training system. You gotta do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks, that Trinity hawks, push-up squats, 100 for each. You got 93 minutes to do it. 13 maximum reps per set, 3 minimum, anywhere in between you can play around, do differently. A minimum marching, jogging, walking fast pace is required of 31 seconds in between each set. I recommend 5 to 10 to about 13 minutes warm up, marching, jogging, walking fast pace before starting, whether you do push-ups in whatever order, push-ups, squats, hawks, whatever order you do them. Whatever order you do them. You're eligible to be a member of the Dragon Army. Next in line, Dragon is yours truly. 213 down. My initial was to get up to 300 sessions. I've done 213 sessions of the General War Integrated Total Body Training System already. Requires no equipment, effective, efficient, simple workout system. Doing a few until December 3rd. This Hawk Island Montreal. Ah, my eye, brother, stop throwing. It's Raiders. I'm gonna look like the Raiders. When you go 13-3, 13-3, 13-3 season. Just like the 13-3, 13 max. Those numbers to keep in mind for the general war integrated total body training system. 13 maximum reps per set, 3 minimum, or anywhere in between. 7, 6, 10. In between each set, you got a march, jog, walk, fast pace, a minimum of 31 seconds. You got 93 minutes. Whether you do squats, push-up, hawks in whatever order, finish all the push-ups, go to the squats or go to the hawks or whatever order you do in whatever order necessary, whatever you do it, until you get to 100 for each of the squats, push-ups, and hawks. That trinity, fourth dimension, you gotta do 31 seconds marching, jogging, walking, fast pace between the sets. Recommend warming up, but you can just start the clock 93 minutes and you can start doing 13 max push-ups. But then you gotta march, jog, walk fast pace 31 seconds. Those are simple, effective, efficient rules. Anybody willingly loving to be a member of the Dragon Army must be able to perform the workout general war integrated total body training system within the rules. And this applies to all existing servicemen and women of the NATO alliance forces, armed forces, whether just started or just started Friday or today, or just starting tomorrow as a cadet, as a new soldier, as a reserve, whatever, starting tomorrow their basic training in whatever militaries of NATO, Canada, US, Germany, and other 27 countries of NATO North Atlantic Treaty Organization member countries. And this applies to lieutenants, upper hierarchy echelons, generals, 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars. Be able to do this. Ah, my eye, brother. Stop throwing dirt, filth, and poison in my eye, brother. God is blessed. And read with one eye like the Raiders. Each team will make 12 primary and 12 backup balls available for testing by the referee. No later than put some milk in it, man. I got some milk tomorrow. 2 hours and 13 minutes prior to the starting time of the game to meet league requirements. For all games, six footballs sealed in a special box and shipped by the manufacturer to the referee will be opened in the official locker room 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to the starting time of the game. These balls are to be specially marked by the referee and used exclusively for the kicking game. In the event a home team ball does not conform to specifications or its supply is exhausted, the referee shall secure a proper ball from the visitors and, failing that, use the best available ball. Any such circumstances must be reported to the commissioner. In case of rain or a wet, muddy, or slippery field, the playable ball shall be used at the request of the offensive team center. The game clock shall not stop for such action unless undue delay occurs. It is the responsibility of the home team to furnish playable balls at all times by attendants from either side of the playing field. Rule 3. And then we'll go to Nassib because so many here. We'll need more coffee. Rule 3 definitions. Approved rulings. An approved ruling is a written decision on a given statement of facts and serves to illustrate the intent and application of a rule. Supplemental notes are used to amplify a rule. A note is more specific and applies to a particular situation. It is also used to indicate pertinent references to other rules. An official ruling, OR, is a ruling made in the interim between the annual rules meetings and is official only during the current season. Technical terms are such terms that have a fixed and defined meaning throughout the playing rules. Because of their alphabetical arrangement in Rule 3, certain ones are used prior to being defined. In such cases, they appear in bold type only for the first time they are used. The ball and possession, Section 2, the ball and possession of the ball. Article 1, dead ball. A dead ball is one that is not in play. The time period during which the ball is dead is between downs. This includes the interval during all timeouts, including intermission, and from the time the ball becomes dead until it is legally put in play. Article 2, ball ready for play. A dead ball is ready for play while the 40-second play clock is running when the ball is placed down by an official, a spot where the ball will next be put in play, or when the referee signals for the 25-second play clock to start. Article 3, live ball. A live ball is a ball that is in play. A dead ball becomes a live ball when it is legally kicked on a free kick down, legally snapped on a scrimmage down, or legally kicked on a fair catch kick down. Fair catch kick down. Continues in play until the down ends. Article 4, loose ball. A loose ball is a live ball that is not in player possession. Any ball that has been kicked, passed, or fumbled. A loose ball is considered to be in possession of the team offense whose player kicked, passed, or fumbled it. It is a loose ball until a player secures possession or until the ball becomes dead. If it has not yet struck the ground, a loose ball is in flight. Article 5, fumble. A fumble is any act other than passing, successful handing, or legally kicking the ball which results in the loss of player possession. If it if it it is not a fumble if the player immediately regains control of the ball. The use of the term fumble always means that the ball was in possession of a player when the act occurred. Note, an intentional fumble that causes the ball to go forward is a forward pass and may be illegal. Article 6, a muff. A muff is the touching of a loose ball by a player in an unsuccessful attempt to obtain possession of it. Muff, muff, muff. Any ball intentionally muffed forward is a bat and may be a foul. Touching the ball refers to any contact with the ball. There is no distinction between a player touching the ball with his hands or any other part of his body, including his hair, except as specifically provided for 922, and those are the rules. Note, the result of the touching is sometimes influenced by the intent or the location. See 614 and 621 for touching a free kick, and then see touching a free kick, see. Player possession, Article 7. Player possession. A player is in possession when he is inbounds and has control of the ball with his hands or arms. To gain possession of a loose ball that has been caught, intercepted, or recovered, the player must have complete control of the ball with his hands or arms, have both feet or any other part of his body other than his hands completely on the ground inbounds, and after A and B have been fulfilled, perform any act common to the game. Example, tug the ball away, extend it forward, take an additional step, turn upfield, or avoid or ward off an opponent. It is not necessary that he commit such an act, provided that he maintains control of the ball long enough to do so. This rule applies in the field of play, at the sideline, and in the end zone. Note, movement of the ball does not automatically result in loss of control. If a player who has completed the first two but not the third requirement for possession contacts the ground and loses control of the ball, there is no possession if the ball hits the ground before he regains control, or if he regains control out of bounds. If a player would have caught, intercepted, or recovered the ball inbounds but is carried out of bounds, player possession will be granted. The terms catch, intercept, recover, advance, and fumble denote player possession, as distinguished from touching or muffing. Rule 3. A catch is made when a player inbounds secures possession of a pass, kick, or fumble that is in flight. An interception is made when an opponent who is inbounds catches a forward or backward pass or a fumble that has not touched the ground. It is a catch or an interception if in the process of attempting to possess the ball, a player secures control of the ball prior to touching the ground, and that control is maintained. Wow. So a lot of things that when we watch football or whatever we don't think about. There's a lot of rules governing the game of gridiron around football, right? If you think about it. So you've been playing most of your life. If you have been, I mean, you pretty much have this integrated in your psyche, in your brain, in your mind. But a lot of people are not really familiar with the rule book of the NFL or the football because it pretty much intercrosses. Pretty much the same rules apply. Maybe with some little changes, little distinctions here and there, but generally it's pretty much the same for all football, American football, right? Yeah, blocking, chucking, clipping, clothesline, disqualified player down, rules, fair catch, field goal, the field, boundary lines, end lines, invo, goal line, R line. Rule 3, violation, handling the ball, huddle, impetus, kicks, line of scrimmage, neutral zone, receiver, free kick, offside, out of bounds, inbound spot, ball out of bounds, run out of bounds, pass, contact by player, by team B player, rule, penalty, loss of down, player, free kick plays, pass play. There's a lot to read. Oh, it'll take me a few hours just to do a session. If somebody willing, commissioning yours truly to read all this, the NFL rule book. Make me an offer. I'm open for business 24/7 and will continue to read or just dedicate a whole coffee with yours truly. Dragonize the Super Bowl. Gonna do a whole section 37. Read it and then we'll go to call Nassib. We're gonna go almost 38, but I'm gonna do section 37. There's lots of rules, so just Dragonize the Super Bowl team. We're gonna do rules of this Dragonize. I'll do perhaps just one for the Dragonize the Super Bowl. Section 37, timeout or time in. Article 1, timeout. A timeout is any interval during which the game clock is stopped. 4-4 and includes the intermission. 4-1-2 and 4-1-3. During any timeout, including an intermission, all playing rules continue in effect. Representatives of either team are prohibited from entering the field unless they are incoming substitutes, or team attendants or trainers entering to provide for the welfare of a player, and any game type activities are prohibited on the field of play. The head coach may enter the field to check on the welfare of a player who is injured, but no assistant coach may enter the field. Article 2, charged team timeout. A charged team timeout is an interval during which the game clock is stopped and play is suspended at the request of one of the teams or when it is charged to one of the teams by rule. A timeout may be granted only when the ball is dead. Article 3, time in. Time in is any interval during which the game clock is running. 4-3. Section 38, touchback. It is a touchback if the ball is dead on or behind the goal line a team is defending, provided that the impetus comes from an opponent and that it is not a touchdown or an incomplete pass. Makes sense. Well, this of course I know this, but to reading them and reading with the ball, the rules of the ball, and how much time they have to be given to the referee prior to the game, and the other ones, the more details to the rules. Because I know the general rules, but for the first time, I'm reading this 2020 NFL rule book. To be honest, in my life, that I'm now going to operations in the NFL official. This is official from the NFL official rule book from the website of the NFL that I'm reading. Touchdown, section 39. If a touchdown, it is a touchdown if any part of the ball is on, above, or behind the opponent's goal line while legally in possession of an inbound player, provided it is not a touchback. Section 40, tripping. Tripping is the use of the leg or foot to obstruct any opponent, including a runner. 12.1.4c and 12.1.8. Section 41, try. A try is the attempt by a team that has scored a touchdown to add 1 point by a field goal or 2 points by a touchdown during one untimed scrimmage down. 13.11.3. Section 42, 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning is an automatic timeout that occurs at the conclusion of the last down for which the ball is legally snapped, or kicked prior to 2 minutes remaining on the game clock in the second and fourth periods. Wow. Now, Carl Nassib. Gonna give it a like. How many likes? 333. prefer 156, 156, 156, but 303 likes, 333 likes, and 4 dislikes. So, I'm gonna give it a like right away, just before listening to anything, just because it's Khan Nassib and he is the bravest. Whatever he says, I'll give it a like anyways, before even watching, because he's the only gay player on the field, come out playing on the field, and is the bravest and the freest us of many playing in the NFL. Motherfuckers. So I'm gonna like this. So it's gonna be 334 instead of 333. 333. It's not for me. For Kiss Goddess, let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Comeback Stories. Got a very special guest here today.
Forty-two comments. I'm gonna write it 43rd. I love it. I love you. Free hugs and massage. Kisses. Curse. I'm from kids. Only if they 11 plus. Fuck, bro. Good for you, man. Happy for you.